or mobile device.
You know what time it is. It is Tuesday, October 18, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Just letting the music breathe right there.
Let it breathe, let it marinate.
Wonder what JP came out the right way on this week for Tuesday, so I'm just rocking with it, Brian.
Gotta feel it.
It's a great day.
Gotta feel those vibes there,
It's
Brian.
fall, the boy is looking good. And I'm feeling good too, man, in the words of James Brown. Ryan, I was talking to Leach backstage. Leach just said he made bacon for the first time.
Bacon.
Bacon for the first time. Leach is 28.
Strong with it.
First time. Is there anything that took you a very long time to eat for the first time? I'll start. I never liked scrambled eggs. I did not like scrambled eggs. They were slimy, they were greasy, and they never stuck. No pun intended. Had them after my 25th birthday party in Vegas. 25 years old, first time I had scrambled eggs. And tomatoes, first time I ever ate a tomato on purpose was earlier this year.
I'll go with avocado. I probably did not have an avocado until I was into my 30s,
So
late 30s.
Guac guy at all, or just
Not even
so
a guac guy,
okay.
nothing. Not even a guac guy until my late 30s.
That's a good one.
Without
'Cause I hate
question.
guac too.
You know who's never eaten a guacamole or a avocado in his life?
Is that Tom
This
Mazawey?
guy, Tom Mazawey. You don't eat guac.
Sure I do.
You do. You like guac.
I sure do.
Oh, look at that.
and my girls got me on avocado too. I love it.
Get out of here.
Anything that you started maybe later in life that you just
Not
anything
really.
late, not like
I've
that?
eaten everything that I possibly gonna eat.
You know you set Ryan up with that, by the way. You set Ryan up with that comment. Ryan was waiting for that comment. I think I might have teed you up on accident.
I've eaten everything that I'm gonna eat.
Oh, God.
I love
I
that
ain't gonna
Bowling
eat-
Green shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
It's very
Thank you.
nice.
Appreciate it.
My sister went to Bowling Green State. Shout out to my sister Jay, Bowling Green State, current new mom in the house.
I went with my man Pete Spivak, Slippery Pete Spivak,
Ooh.
on Saturday. It was great time at Bowling Green Stadium. I think they call it the Dort. Dort something stadium. They call it the Dort.
I don't remember what they call it, but I did. My second television job was in Toledo. And we covered University of Toledo and Bowling Green. I
That's
mentioned
the
a number of
infamous
times
Urban Meyer story.
Urban
Yeah.
Meyer. I had no
Urban
idea what his
Meyer.
name was. They called him Coach Mayer, and he just lit me up.
Yeah, he's that type too.
Yeah, absolutely. That was before he was one of the greatest college football coaches of all time.
He knew it. He just hadn't done it yet.
No doubt about it. Speaking of college football, lots of Michigan to get into. Michigan State, 7:30 on ABC. A week from this Saturday. 2 weeks to talk about this game, and I'm glad we do because there's a lot of fun involved in this.
Yeah.
Certainly a lot of fun for Michigan fans, and certainly a lot of fun for Michigan State fans too. Look, you've won the last 2 times these two teams have played, so you do have some bragging rights, at least for another week. We'll see how that game goes, but we'll be talking to Jamie Morris, one of the all-time great running backs in Michigan football history. We'll do that in about 10 minutes. Also, if you hadn't noticed, the Pistons open up their season tomorrow. A lot of excitement to go along with that. Top of hour number 2, we'll talk to longtime Pistons radio voice Mark Champion. Pistons hosting Orlando tomorrow night.
Excited about the season. Obviously, people don't expect them to get, including myself, don't expect them to get into the playoffs this year, but I expect them to start changing. I expect them to be a little bit better, and I expect them to contend in the majority of their games this year. I mean, it's going to be fun. We saw a little bit in preseason with guys playing a lot more reps now. You see the veterans are playing more reps, so the starters everywhere play more reps. They're going to be exciting, but still going to be some learning curves. I want to see what Dwayne Casey can get going with that team this year with Jaden Ivey, the new pick, and Jalen Durham.
Without question. And look, a lot of excitement regarding the Detroit Pistons and the Detroit Red Wings. I'm not sure how many people saw it last night, and obviously we can't show it to you. But last night in the game, the Detroit Red Wings showed exactly, excuse me, I've got to sneeze.
Yeah, however you're going to do them, it won't do justice to not be able to see the play.
Thank you. Yeah, so anyway, there was a play in the game, and Dylan Larkin showed people why he's the captain. And I think it encompassed what you have to look forward to this year with the Detroit Red Wings. I don't want to use the word grit because I feel like Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions have used that word. It does have a little bit of taint to it. But the effort last night late in the game specifically from the Detroit Red Wings. The LA Kings win 5-4 in overtime, but the Detroit Red Wings do pick up a point. Husso, the goaltender, comes up with a huge save to keep it a one-goal game. And then Larkin somehow, and you made the analogy that was a Tayshaun Prince kind of block where he comes in and saves the empty net goal, and the Wings ultimately tie it a minute later, or less than a minute later, go into overtime in an unfortunate bounce. They lose the game, but I'm telling you, I am all in on the 2022-2023 Detroit Red Wings.
I have to give that analogy to my man Jeff Iafrate. We were talking back, so I don't want to, hey, that was all you. Jeff called that the Tayshaun block, rightfully so, after I saw the play. You know what? Dylan Larkin doesn't make this attempt. He doesn't die for this 3 years ago. You know, last year under Lalana, I don't know if he would have dove for that. But this year, last year under Blasher, I don't know if he would, but this year under Lalana, he's out there diving for it. He's acting until you can know that he's wearing that seal on his chest for a reason, man. It's something about having different pieces in play. It's something about seeing the change right before your eyes. And I think he's seeing the eyes of him playing. I think that's also guys that you have around. Guys like D-Mac are always down there, Dino Ciccarelli, and the list goes on, guys that stay around an organization. I think you're starting to see all that in the way the Wings are playing some hockey.
I went last night again, so I've been to both home games. And the crowd was really into it. My daughter came all the way up from Michigan State with her friends to come watch that game. So I wanted to come and see them for a bit. I hung out with Mike Gentry, our Red Wing beat reporter. Got to see D-Mac, walk around with him. He gave a jersey out to, of course, one of the military guys that were there. They do that every game. It's a wonderful thing that the Red Wings do. And the place was electric. And I'm getting into this team.
Yeah.
I told myself, I'm selling out this year. I am going to a lot of Red Wing games because I want to get back to being that Red Wing fan I was back in the day, in the glory days. And they're coming, man.
And it feels like you can hop on board this team, Braylon, because it feels like a lot of these guys that are on this team right now are the same guys that will be here when they compete for Stanley Cups. It just feels like that. It feels like Steve Yzerman has really done the job to get the young players in here, groom them, give them a couple of years, and 2, 3, 4 years from now, you might be expecting Stanley Cups.
You said you wanted to be a fan like you used to be, Maz. Well, guess what? Steve Yzerman is now giving you a reason to be a fan like you're used to. Adding young players around. You see Dylan Larkin. They molded him. They kept him around. They said, no, there is something there with you. We do need you as a captain. Changed his mindset a little bit over the last 3 years. And then you look at Moritz Seider and what he's building.
Love watching that kid.
Love watching Moritz, one of the best young defensemen in the game. But then you also look at where they struggled last year. They struggled in goaltending. They struggled in giving up points. They say, you know what? Let's go out and get Ville Husso, who had a nice season last year for the St. Louis Blues. But let's also get goalie coach in Alex Westland. So they're doing it the right way. And then they bring in guys like Ben Sherratt to help out Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi's not in there. Ben Sherratt's in there now. So they're doing it the right way, and you're watching it unfold before your eyes.
You got to see Mac walking around, and it doesn't. I mean, he stopped every second.
I bet.
Daniela Bruce is with him, and she's the Red Wing hostess there, and she's of course on Bally. She's got to get him to a certain section to where the military family is, so he can give the jersey in between the play, because they only have a certain amount, and she's like, come on, Mac, let's go, let's go. Meanwhile, 20,000 people are waiting to take his picture, including me and Gentry. He wanted to take the three of us. We got a picture. I'm like, come on, Danielle, just take one more picture. So she's all right, too. She does a great job.
Unbelievable. Great stuff there. You know who doesn't do a great job?
Who's that?
Russell Wilson.
Oh, my God. He's a ghost.
I'll tell you, the NFL is king. If there's an NFL game on, you watch it. But last night, I dipped in and dipped out.
It was another dud.
And dipped in and dipped out. Watched for 5 minutes, left for 30. Watched for 5, left for 20. I just have no interest in these duds. I have none.
Unfortunately, I tortured myself. I did watch the whole game, and it was just nasty. I mean, watching Russell in the second half was just and the bad thing about it is they have guys on that offensive side. They got guys, and I'm watching the breakdown, and it's not like I'm watching a guy that the offensive line just isn't protecting. Like, they are giving him protection, giving him some time to throw the ball. It's not like we keep blaming Nathaniel Hackett. He's just missing wide open guys. There was a play on the first possession. The guy was right over the middle of the field, was right there looking for him, just kind of like the slant he just had last week. Same deal, completely missed him. He's completely unsure of himself. He made one throw to the tight end, thought he was stepping on the right foot, and then he just went down. I mean, second half he was 0. I think he was 3 for 15 yards, no touchdowns. Like, it was just awful to watch. And they're a good team, Maz, on the defensive side of the ball.
Terrific on
if you look, Pat Surtain is now establishing himself as a lockdown corner, and he's in that conversation, top 5 cornerbacks in the league. You saw Browning yesterday. Browning was all over Justin Herbert. He ended up having an interception. You got Singleton had 19 tackles. Like, this is a defense that can play ball, and it is an offense that is not sure of their guy at the helm, and that's Russell Wilson.
Well, nobody is open. No receiver is open. They've showed several different overhead shots. Troy Aikman said it all game. Now, is that Nathaniel Hackett and their scheme? I have no idea.
Well, I don't know. Dan Orlovsky, he tweeted out a clip today that said Russell Wilson should be able to read this coverage with his eyes closed, and he missed another guy.
That was probably what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm just a guy that watches football. I wouldn't even begin to tell you anything about coverages or diagrams or anything like that. But when a quarterback tells me that Russell Wilson should be able to read this coverage with his eyes closed, I'll believe him.
Yeah.
And I just know that this offense is producing less than 16 points a game. It looks broken.
Your defense gives you 16. Your defense only gives up 16 points to the Los Angeles Chargers. You got to come up with that win, man. With Russell, even though when he was in Seattle, he was always able to find DK Metcalf. He was always able to find Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's not the biggest wide receiver. He found Tyler Lockett in some very tight windows. You wonder how much was he in Denver this offseason, working out with these guys, and how much was he building your brand. The best thing that came out of me watching Monday Night Football is them telling me I don't have to watch Russell again this weekend, and the next time I have to watch him, it's at 9 a.m. on Sunday because they'll be in London, and guess what? My ass will be asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at their primetime games. Put up that tweet I gave you, Fletch. This is their games that they've been. Look what their offense has done in these
16
games.
points, 11 points, 9 points, and 16 points. It's just no fun. And look, we're only through week 6, and they've been on primetime 4 weeks. 4 times in 6 weeks.
And more is coming.
More is coming. And you know who's not coming?
Tuck.
Hey. When's Tuck coming? By the way, you can pick up your T-shirts, by the way. Let me know when he gets here. Those are available on the WoodwardSports.com shop.
Maybe Jamie Morris wants one.
We could get Jamie Morris one. Let me know when he gets here. Tuck coming. There you go. But first, speaking of Jamie Morris, he's on the line. We'll get to him next. But first, a message from SMA.
That Russell Wilson commercial, him eating that sub, is very creepy, by the way. The Sports Market Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. At their podcast, this is the S word. And the S word is for stigma because we're trying to destigmatize mental health, depression, anxiety. Everybody, it is okay to not be okay, but you want to have the right information and you want to have the right conversation. Sean Jordan and SMA do an amazing job of that. If you or anyone you know has these issues or are concerned you might have these issues, go to thesportsma.com.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, only at Big Frog can you get yourself a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Stop in today, tell them we sent you, and they will hook you up and print out one for you right on the spot. So stop in today at Big Frog in Novi, or check them out online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
Michigan and Michigan State, 7:30, October 29th. It's an ABC game, so we have to wait an extra week. But we'll take the 2 weeks of hype and help us talk about those Michigan Wolverines, one of the greatest running backs in the history of the program. Jamie Morris, host of the M Zone show on WTKA. You can follow him on Twitter at JMorris23. Jamie, my friend, how are you, sir?
What's up, Ryan? How you doing, Braylon?
What's up, my guy? Nothing much, man. I had a chance. Really good. I had a chance to be up at Penn State this weekend doing some work with Fox and Discovery. And a lot of electricity up there. I know you know the pulse up there, man, but I got a chance to feel it this weekend. It was amazing. And, man, Michigan, how about that? How about that team? How about that team?
That team is a very surprising team. On my radio show on the M Zone, we asked the question, is this team is it 21 or 22? Who's the better team? And I'm gonna tell you, Braylon, the better offense is that 22 team. That better defense right now it's still the 2021 team, but that 22 team's coming down the track right now.
Jamie, one of the things I wanted to do on the show today is exactly that. And I wrote a bunch of notes. Which team is better? And I'm going through, and I'll tell you, defensively right now, and there are 5 games to go, but this 2022 team, 5th in points allowed, 4th in yards allowed, tied for 4th in sacks. Last year, totally, they had 34 sacks on the year. This year already, they have 24 sacks. This defense could be better.
Yeah, or the teams that we played so far aren't as good as the team that we played last year. The team that we played last year. So it's one or the other. I agree with you, Ryan. This defense is coming. You guys are talking about Tuck coming. This defense is coming, and it's coming together real soon.
Fair enough. Jamie, what did we talked about, we thought we'd learn a whole hell of a lot about Michigan once they played Penn State. Yeah. We think we did. Did you?
Yeah, we learned a lot about this team. We learned that it's a hard-nosed team. And they're gonna play old school. They're gonna play old school football. Now they can play pat and catch too. But if they need to, they'll put the down linemen down. They'll load the offensive line up with tight ends, and they'll come downhill on you. And guess what? Everybody was worried about Hassan Haskins not being here. Guess what? And like the young boy said, they got lightning in the lightning. You know what happened when lightning strikes twice.
Oh, definitely, man. Lightning striking twice is what happened this past Saturday in Penn State, man. Donovan Edwards was amazing, as well as Blake Corum. 3rd place right now in most people's poll for the Heisman. Just talk about what Weiss and Sharon Moore were able to do in terms of establishing that run game. That has been Michigan's identity. That has been Michigan's bread and butter for years on top of years. But this year it looks a little different. It just doesn't look like you said, thunder and lightning. It's lightning and lightning, but it looks like they're getting Corum and Donovan Edwards in great situations to have success.
We're giving them holes, Braylon. I mean, they're coming downhill. Watch this offensive line. Now, this offensive line has not been intact the whole season. I think it was the Iowa game was the first time they were intact. Yeah. All starters. And they've been coming downhill. The center, the 2 tackles. I mean, these guys are incredible. Did you see the one play where the center pulled? The guard and the center pulled, and they let JJ up in that hole. I mean, that is hard to do. Plus, he was in shotgun. Think about that. Yeah. He hiked the ball, he pulled out, and he knocked that defensive back on his butt. So they're athletic. They're better than the line, the Joe Moore line, 21. So think about that. We've got a better offensive line, and these young backs we got, they're incredible. I mean, the way they hit the hole. I'm so happy for Donovan that it's coming together for him. But Blake, I'm very proud of Blake. He's put in the work in the weight room to prove that he can get the 1 yard if needed. So he's doing a great job also. Got
to be proud of Blake Corum. Obviously, last year he was the guy that came in as a slasher. This year he's carrying the load You know, he's a 3-down back right now, so you got to appreciate. Oluwatimi has helped a lot at the center, so you like to see that, man. Their offense is doing a good job. Speaking of the offense, though, let's talk about JJ. When do we get the passing game involved? Or are you worried? Because I think to beat Georgia, to beat Tennessee, to beat Alabama, you're going to be able to have to get the ball vertical. Are you worried or not?
No, I'm not worried. The game plan was for JJ this past week, the Penn State week. We thought Penn State was going to be much better against the run. They were supposed to be the team that bows up, and we were thinking about. You saw they came in 3 wideouts and was ready to throw that ball, but once we figured out we could run on them, why not? Let's just run them down. Let's run them down, and James Franklin and Jim Harbaugh are not bosom buddies, so they just wanted to pound them as much as they could. But look, JJ's coming along, getting better each week. Like he said, if we can pound them, let's pound the hell out of them, and they did. But it's coming, Braylon. I'm telling you, it may be in 2 weeks.
I believe you. I believe you.
Jamie, you said Michigan is better maybe than last year. How about Ohio State? What's your gauge on them?
They got a purpose. I get it. They got a purpose. Someone told them that their rival beat them and said they weren't tough enough, and everybody was laughing at them. And you could see it. Blackbeard is upset. He wants his team to be
I
tough.
called him Blackbeard.
Coming out, and they're just gonna come out and try to play. They're gonna come out and Ohio State's better. But you know what? The one thing about Ohio State, they need good weather. They need good weather to win, because you let that quarterback stand there. I've watched every game that they played. That quarterback does not move that. He's a statue, and he's able to throw that ball. That's why I like what our defense is doing, is getting better each week, and we're getting to the ball. Ryan read off all the sacks that we're getting to the quarterback. Going to be helpful. It's going to be hell down in Columbus. I'm going to tell you that. Don't think blowout. You better think beat out, because these two teams are going to hammer one another.
Talking to Jamie Morris, one of the greatest running backs in the history of the program, on Twitter at JMorris23, host of the M Zone Show on WTKA. Jamie, you mentioned 2 weeks from now, and perhaps the aerial assault will happen 2 weeks from now. This has been a lopsided rivalry. Michigan State has won 2 in a row on this. In this, I said yesterday that I think Michigan's going to be out for blood in this game. Am I wrong? Are they just going to throw everything at Michigan State that they possibly have in this game and try to just run them out of the gym or off the field?
I think what you're going to see is they're going to try to beat them up physically. I think, and then they're going to go over the top. Look, we all know what Michigan State did last year. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to pull out the paper, and they're going to say, we got to stop the run. And make JJ win this game. He's a young quarterback. Maybe he makes mistakes. Maybe he doesn't. I don't think he will make any mistakes. He's answered every question. Every time the bell rings, he's rung it. So I think he's ready for this opportunity, and I hope they do give him this opportunity. Honestly, I would love to see the offensive line destroy that defense against Michigan State, but I hope they do try to stop the run so we can go over the top. They dictate what Michigan's going to do.
Jay, I got 2 for you. I got an interesting one, and I got a quick hit for you. The interesting one is, do you think what's going on in the opposition in Michigan State, do you think it's fixable for Mel Tucker? Obviously not this season, but next year, do you think he has time to fix the state of this program right now?
Oh, come on, dog. You know he's got plenty of time. He got 95 million reasons why he's got time. Come on, it's guaranteed. He ain't going nowhere.
You sure about that?
Yeah. Look, Michigan State is fine. This is the game, Braylon.
Right.
If he wins this game, fine. You know it as well as I do. You just win this game so the people can, in the state of Michigan, the parties can run around and say, we beat you. We beat you. That's all they want.
Very true, very true. Here's a quick hit for you. Blake Corum, one of the best backs in the nation. To me, he's the best back in the nation, best complete back. Does he have an opportunity to get to New York?
Yes, he'll get an opportunity to go to New York. He will go to New York, but you know that's a quarterback award now. That's not even fair anymore. He'll get a chance. Aiden Hutchinson had a chance to go, and he finished with 2. Maybe Blake finishes number 2. Yeah. But, I mean, let's be honest and real about this. This is a quarterback award. There's some quarterbacks that are doing pretty good this year. My
prediction is which is everything is centered around if Hendon Hooker loses a game, if Blake Corum goes undefeated and has 1,800 yards and 22 touchdowns, I think he has a chance to win it all.
Well, if you would have said that to me, I'd have said yeah.
See, I set you up. I gave you only half information.
Hey, Jamie, what is? Look, obviously, this is a rivalry game. You want to win this one. What is Jim Harbaugh's most difficult task here over the next month of the season before you get to Ohio State? Because look, we're doing it. Everybody's doing it. Putting them 11-0 in Columbus right now. How do you get these guys to just slow down a little bit and go week by week?
I did a speech with the 97 guys on Saturday, and it was Marcus Ray. There was a lot of guys there, but Marcus was the one that stuck out because you know why, Braylon. He knows how to take the room. But that being said, I did a speech, and I said to them, you guys did something no other team that came before you has ever done. And that means they took it one game at a time. It's hard to do. I know everybody talks about it. We're going to take it one game. It's hard to do. Once you get up in those the 8th, 9th, 10th game, you're like, oh, we going to win this. You got to focus each and every week. And this team can do that. They seem to come out and play hard each and every game. He has them focused right now. You just got to stay focused, Ryan. If you don't stay focused, you lose it. Hey, it happened. It can happen to anybody, but you just got to stay focused and take it one game at a time.
Jamie, that is a hell of a comparison. This isn't a question. This is more so agreeing and realizing that you're correct. Nobody had that 97 team winning it all, and you look at every step of the way that 97 team, it was a dogfight in Purdue, it was a dogfight in Iowa, it was a dogfight in Michigan State, it was a dogfight in Ohio State. They legitimately took it 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think that's what you're saying with Michigan. So they played some bums early on in the season. Then it's all right. What are they going to do against the passing game of Maryland? What are they going to win? What are they going to do on the road in Iowa? They dominate that game. Well, what are they going to do against this Penn State team that's supposed to be really good against the run? They dominate as well. One game at a time. They may not be close games, but they're still taking it one game at a time.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie, thanks for doing this, man. We certainly appreciate it. No, you're up against it as well here. You got to get on the air yourself.
Anything for my little brother.
Hey, appreciate it. Hey,
he knows that.
Jamie, by the way, I just wanted to say this before you get up there. You're looking real good right there, brother. You're looking smooth.
I was going to say
you're looking smooth. Whatever's going on health-wise and working out, you look good.
The reason why I lost 40 pounds.
You look good.
I'm 56 years of age and I got a 2-year-old son, so think about that.
God bless you.
That means it still works.
Hey, Jimmy, maybe we can check in with you next week as well and go more in depth on the game itself. We'd certainly appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, Jamie Morris, everybody.
Good to see you, Jamie.
He is the host of the M Zone show on WTKA afternoons, also on Twitter at JMorris23. One of the greatest running backs in the history of the program, Jamie Morris. Certainly
spent a lot of time in his office when I was at Michigan, because he had the office in Weidenbach, not Weidenbach, but Cliff Bell. Cliff King.
Cliff King Arena.
I ain't been there so long. But Cliff King at the office, I would always go in his office, hang out,
Cliff
talk
Bell's
shop.
A bar.
I've been to that too. But hanging out at his office is cool because I could always go down there and kind of not talk about, what was going on in football, what was going on with Schembechler. It was always school and other things.
Hey guys, Jamie brought up an interesting point. I want to explore it a little bit here too. Is this year's Michigan team better than last year's Michigan team? We'll take a look at it, get your thoughts. But first, a message from the Folding Warehouse.
Yes, sir. In Hamtramck, Michigan, of course, the great host. Of course, you got to love them out there. Got to go out and tell them that Woodward Sport sent you out there. Chris and Noni Hut. Don't forget, 2 ways to play this game. $12, unlimited open play, or a private lane reservation for $120, but you get it for 2 hours. 10 or 12 people could fit on a lane, so plenty of room for you to have some fun. Any drink you want, they have multiple full bars and a great menu for beer. Over 100 beers they offer, plus the $2 mystery beer machine. Bring your own food in or have it delivered. Check them out. Get your fold on at thefoldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some sense around in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
What's going on, everybody? JB here, letting you know about Planet Fitness and how they are your judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym has always been known to be clean, but now it is cleaner than ever. With tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. The best part about this, you get everything just for $10 a month.
Only $10, JB?
Yes, only $10 a month.
Wow.
But also, just to let you guys know, Woodward Sports will be broadcasting live from the Planet Fitness on Ryan Road in Sterling Heights all day Wednesday, October 26th, with the opportunity to win a few prizes. We got the Michigan versus Michigan State tickets. That also comes with 1 free year of the Black Card membership, a signed Darren McCarty jersey, or our very own signed Braylon Edwards jersey. How about that? I know I'm trying to get one too.
Hell
Bray,
yeah.
hook me up, man.
Hook me up, Bray.
Join in club today or check them out online at planetfitness.com.
.com, essential, that's right. Absolutely. Ryan, Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletch, and JB in the house. Having a lot of fun here on WoodwardSports.com. Check us out there. And, of course, while you're there, go to the shop. Buy some new swag. Over 120 items on there, including... I should be getting my package pretty soon. I spent a lot of money. I think I got one of everything on here. I was having a good time. What the hell? There's a lot of great stuff on here as well.
See that new Hail shirt?
Including...
The Hail shirt.
The Hail. Do we have a Hail graphic, a Hail shirt?
We'll get one
we got to get one up. The Hail with the number 1 for the I in honor of this guy, Braylon Edwards over here. Just a simple Hail.
With the 1.
With the 1 embedded in there as well.
I'll be looking for my NIL check on that one.
One of the great numbers at Michigan in the program's history, absolutely. Speaking of Michigan football, I want to continue on, guys. Is this year's Michigan team better than last year's Michigan team? And
No.
I think no would be the popular answer, but I'm not so sure. I could make an argument that I think this year's Michigan team is better than last year's Michigan team. Offensively, I think they are. I think their offensive line is better. I think the combination of Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards is better than the combination of Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum. I think their wide receivers, with Ronnie Bell added to this as the veteran. Last year, those wide receivers were all young. Nobody had any experience. Now add Ronnie Bell into the mix and add another year of experience to guys like Johnson, to Roman Wilson, to Andrell Anthony. I think that's a positive. And then, go ahead.
But they don't throw to him.
But they can. They have the ability to.
Yeah.
They do have that ability. And then I think
everyone has the ability.
I think the quarterback is better. I do, and you might not see it now. I think there's 2 or 3 plays a game that J.J. McCarthy makes right now that Cade McNamara couldn't make. And then you go over to the defensive side. You look at those 3 first-round picks, Ojabo, Hutchinson, and Dax Hill. And this team is 5th in points allowed this year, 4th in yards allowed, 4th in sacks. And again, you might look at the early season competition, but they can only play who their competition is.
Well, who'd they play last year at this time?
Washington,
who was total trash.
Okay. They're not total trash. They're a lot better than UConn.
Well, sure. But last year, I think they had like 4 or 5 sacks in that game.
Cincinnati, maybe?
No, they did not play Cincinnati.
Well, let me speak
now I
on,
gotta go see.
Yeah, we got to bring it up. Let's compare them.
Well, let me speak on to your question. You said, is this team better? At this stage, this team is better. This team actually has a chance to be better at the end of the year as well. If you're measuring in terms of the game against Ohio State and the game against Iowa, this team isn't necessarily, they've only played 7 games. They haven't got to 12 games. But if you look at this point last year for the Michigan Wolverines versus the Michigan Wolverines last year, this team is better. They're getting after the quarterback, 24 sacks. They had a total of 34 sacks last year. And this is considering 2 dudes that had the opportunity to break that record, which means they were the only guys getting sacks on that defense last year. You look at the quarterback position, the spots that they put J.J. McCarthy in. I mean, he's still shooting over 72% in pass precision and completion percentage. You look at the way they're running the ball. They're running the ball more aggressively. I think this offensive line this year is better than the offensive line last year, adding Virginia's Onwuzurike to the team, who finished runner-up in the Remington. Ryan and Mike, do you know that they're averaging only giving up 6.2 points in the second half of every game this year?
Ridiculous.
Every game, they're only averaging giving up 6.2. They're doing it with a lot of younger players on the team as well. Will Johnson's making some plays. Moten's making plays. You see the young guys in there making plays. This team has the ability to be better, and it's not about the ability like Matt said. I get what he's saying, but at the same time, they have that there. They didn't go to the well until the Michigan State game last year with Cade McNamara, who had 384. Up until that, there were a lot of 180 games. There were a lot of 160 games. I think there was a 210 game in there as well. So this team right now is on pace to be better than that team last year. Not to mention, they are the reigning, defending Big Ten champions.
By the way, who they played last year? Western Michigan, Washington, and Northern Illinois. In Washington, they had 4 sacks in that game. So last year, Michigan's defense finished with 34 sacks all season, which was 33rd best in the country. This year, they are tied for 4th with 24 sacks.
We could say definitely those 3 games were a lot better than the 3 games.
And then Rutgers, Nebraska, Northwestern.
Yeah, you play a Big Ten.
But those games, the Big Ten now.
But those games in the beginning of last year are a lot more difficult than the 3 games that they played this year. That's why you have better stats against the weaker teams.
Well, they won 47-14.
Yeah.
They won 31-10 and 63-10. So it's not like
they did the same thing.
Yeah, they did the same exact thing.
It's the same thing.
But either way, I mean, you can make your argument.
I'm looking at a different brand of football. I'm looking at, when you look in the first half and you see Michigan has 14 first downs. They can get first downs. They move the possessions. Like, they're a better team all around. They're a better team all around this year. The one thing that they can't do this year is the same thing they couldn't do last year. They weren't that good in the red zone, so they have time to fix that. Unlike last year, whose season is done.
You know, Cade McNamara last year, too, and this is maybe just a different kind of style of football. Maybe it just is. Cade McNamara, in the 12 games last year, 12 regular season games, only 4 of them, he threw for over 200 yards. Over 200 yards in 4 games last year. Right now, McCarthy has thrown over 200 yards in 4 games already. Hawaii, UConn, Maryland, and Indiana.
Hey, McCarthy's he is a cool cat. Mm-hmm. He really is. I mean, you see him at press conferences. You see him. He looks like a future quarterback. He does. Mm-hmm. You know, no question about it. I love the way he looks. Cade McNamara looks more. He looks like a solid leader as well. Always saying the right things. Always with a lot of pride, and took a lot of pride in being named a team captain. And he probably is not going to be here next year, more than likely. I'm not comparing them and saying Cade's better than JJ or vice versa. Saying? I'm just saying that you can't say this team is better than last year's yet.
Yes, that's I can. All. I can. As a guy that played the game, as a guy that played for Michigan, I've seen what I'm seeing. I think this team is on track to be better than that team last year. There was nothing scary about playing Michigan on offense last year. Yeah, they could run the hell out the ball, but they weren't passing the ball. So if you had a good defensive front like Georgia, then you're not going to lose to a Michigan Wolverines. They didn't fear teams like Georgia, teams like Tennessee, teams like Bama, they wouldn't fear that Michigan team last year. They feared the running attack a little bit, but if you stop that, they can't pass the ball, and they showed you that all season. This team has a lot more to offer than the last team does.
Guys, I'm going to take a break, but I want to show you who ESPN has released their bowl projections, where they have Michigan going, and if you'd be okay with that. If I could give it to you right now. We'll do it next, but first a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. Got to make a plan allocation in for lease and purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford has over 300 pre-owned cars on their lot as well. All makes, all models, all years. Get off your heels into some wheels. Come on down today, practically giving them away at Les Stanford Chevrolet in Cadillac, located on Dearborn in Michigan.
In Dearborn, Michigan.
In Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. Thank you very much. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
At Alta, uptime matters.
Uptime, there it is.
Alta Equipment's got everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta Rental has got you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
So ESPN.com put out their bowl projections. 2 guys did it. Both of which have Georgia and Ohio State in the national championship game. One of the guys has Georgia Clemson. The other guy, Ohio State, Tennessee. So the 4 would be Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, Tennessee. And then another gentleman had Georgia, TCU, Ohio State, and Tennessee. Both going Georgia, Ohio State, national championship. They've got Michigan, UCLA in the Rose Bowl.
Just like the old days.
Just like the old days. Michigan has not played in a Rose Bowl game since the 2006 season. 2007 Rose Bowl, which was the 2006 year. That was the year, I believe that was the undefeated year, right?
Where
1 versus 2 Ohio State.
Ohio State, Michigan, and then we lose to Ohio State, and then Florida lobbies to get into the bowl game, saying that nobody wanted to see 1 versus 2. Again, we just saw that game, and inadvertently they picked Florida, and Florida beat the hell out of Ohio State.
Would you be okay with that? If you could take that right now, Michigan, UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Would you, Michigan 11-1, Rose Bowl game, would you take it? Would you be happy? Successful season or not?
No. I don't want to play in the Rose Bowl unless it's the national championship game.
I'm serious.
Or a semifinal.
That's where I'm at right now, too.
Yeah, I don't even know.
That's where I'm at, too.
It's just a bowl game. Maybe bowl game. Who gives a damn what bowl game you're in? Play in the finals.
I'm with you.
I see what he's saying. He's saying for the embarrassment, but I don't think there'll be embarrassment this year. You look at this team, you look at this season. Everyone's beatable. We talked about Alabama earlier in the year when you guys were talking about, is that how did Alabama almost lose to Texas? I told you Texas is a good team. I told you Quinn Ewers is a good quarterback. So you look at that Texas team. Alabama struggled there. Alabama almost could have lost to Arkansas or South Carolina. Then Alabama did lose to Tennessee. Tennessee almost lost to Alabama team that we say isn't the same Alabama team. You look at Ohio State. So far that defense, they look okay, but they don't look like world beaters. Everybody can beat everybody this year, and I think by the time you get to Ohio State and then you follow up with the Big Ten championship, Michigan would be in a situation where they have experienced enough and they'll be primed for a chance to get to the national championship. I'm taking 12-0.
Yeah, I think so too, but I'm just saying, I feel now like 11-1 Rose Bowl is a disappointment. where your standards are, where your hopes are, where your expectations are, where college football is, where I do believe anywhere from 6 to 8 different teams can win this national championship this year, and you're one of those teams. I do feel like if you are not in that position, it is a disappointment of a year. On January 2nd, which I believe the Rose Bowl is played on January 2nd this year, on January 2nd, would you feel like, oh, this is really cool, all the pomp and circumstance? You see the Big Ten, Pac-10. How many more years of Big Ten, Pac-10 will you see at the Rose Bowl? It'll be cool at that point. But I think playing in the Rose Bowl game is a disappointment. Well, I mean, this year specifically.
But I wouldn't be let down at 11-1. I mean, you're talking about going 11-1. 11-1 should get you into a playoff. So if Michigan were to go 11-1, and for some reason the way it's slated, Ohio State goes undefeated, SEC, you got a couple extra teams in the playoffs from the SEC, then I'm not upset or I'm not disappointed because my team went 11-1 and just got screwed and ended up in the Rose Bowl. Wouldn't feel that way at all. I think you got to necessarily not lower your expectations, but you can't be like Michigan State thinking they're going to go 11-3 every year, which they're clearly not. 11-1 would be the gold standard for me. 12-0 would be special.
January 1st is on a Sunday this year.
NFL.
What do you think I'm watching? I'm not watching a bowl game.
There's no bowl games, I don't think, on January 1.
So what are they doing?
They're January 2nd on the Monday.
They're playing on a Monday?
Yeah, because the Monday is the observed holiday.
So we get an extra day.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I still don't want to play there.
Well, again, I expected, maybe I'm crazy, but I expect Michigan to beat Ohio State. And I'm not, you don't get any, this ain't horseshoes. Like, all the moral victories are over with. Staying close. Now that you have seen your program reach a level, and I think, we have seen that now with Michigan beating Ohio State, winning a Big Ten championship, and getting to the college football playoff, you want to go further than that now. It is not good enough just to make it to a Rose Bowl. You want to at least get back to that bare minimum and then take your chances in the playoffs.
Yeah, but that sounds like an entitled fan. Like, at the end of the day.
Well, it's not entitled.
It is. Now, you're saying the expectation is to go 12-0. You shouldn't expect to beat Ohio State. You should know that
Why not?
You should know that you did it. You should know that you can beat Ohio State.
I don't expect to lose. I don't expect to go to Columbus and lose.
It's not about your expectations. I expect Michigan to play the best brand of football that they can play.
You expect them to go to Michigan
if they play the best brand of football that they can play, they'll win. But I expect them, the best brand of football they can play, they'll win.
Okay, so if they don't do that, though, isn't that a failure? You just said if they play their brand of football that they can play, they'll win. So if they don't do that, aren't you disappointed?
If Ohio State plays better, no.
But you just said if Michigan plays their brand of football, they'll win.
They have an opportunity. I didn't say they'll win. I said if Michigan plays their best brand of football, then they have a chance to beat Ohio State. And inadvertently, on the opposite side, if Ohio State plays their best brand of football, they have an opportunity to win. That's why I don't expect that to win that game. I expect to beat Indiana. I expect to beat Penn State. I expect to beat Illinois. I don't expect to beat Ohio State because we've done it once in the last 17 years.
Yeah, but I'm not Northwestern. I expected that all along.
Well, look, you sound like an entitled fan because as a player,
what does that mean?
So
you just look for your teams to lose?
It means that because Michigan's done it once in the last 17 years, now all of a sudden, I expect Michigan to do that. It's just like Michigan State. Because they went 11-3 llast year, you expect them to go 11-3 every year? Hell no.
No, but I expect this team to beat Ohio State.
Well, I expect Michigan to play the best ball, and if it's good enough that day, they'll win.
Look at you. We'll take a break, come right back. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's. It is a great time, absolutely, here. It's an award-winning haircut experience. You can register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for your game day bets, play-by-play update, live scores, and the best price on every game from multiple sportsbooks. Simply put, they are the best. When you go to the website, OddsTrader.com, they give you stats, they give you the lines, they give you parlays, they give you the tendencies so that you can help make your bet, so you can make some of that cash, some of that moolah, some of that dinero. Go to OddsTrader.com.
Right, I got a question for you. Which is something that we talked about earlier today. I just want to put it out to the Woodward Sports chat.
Chat is on fire. We appreciate that.
Mike G, the leader of the Michigan pack, the Wolverine pack, and the rest of you guys. This is what we came up with earlier. And you said it a little bit, but let me finish it up. Would you rather Michigan play USC, UCLA in the Rose Bowl like the old days? The one-loss Michigan team, one-loss USC or UCLA team. You know, just play for the top 10 position in the final. Or would you rather go undefeated, play in the playoff, and get your doors blown off again? I think it's a good question. Now, if you ask me that, if I'm getting my doors blown off in the semis,
like a 34-11,
yeah, I think
chance.
I think I'd take the Rose Bowl this time. I would.
Well, I would choose the opposite again because...
You want to be embarrassed again?
No, because if we're there, we beat Ohio State again.
Right, I get that.
And you'll probably want another Big Ten championship. For me, it's all about Ohio State.
Okay.
Jim Harbaugh was brought to Michigan to beat Michigan State, to beat Ohio State, to win Big Ten championships. So if they're in the college football playoff, that would be... I think anything after that is gravy.
I agree. Like, I don't even know where we're having this conversation. Why would we rather go 12-0 and get to the college football playoff and get blown out, or play 11-1? You play to be 12-0. You play to get to the national championship game. At least if you go and play in a national championship scenario in a playoff and you get the doors blown off you, you realize why you got the doors blown off you. Who scored? Did anybody score? Was it on the offensive side? Did the offensive line get pushed around? Did the defensive line get pushed around? Did you get out-coached on offense and defense by the coordinators? So at least if you put yourself in that situation, you can make adjustments. What players do I need to add to this Michigan team next year? But if you go 11-1 and beat a UCLA, that doesn't matter. You don't find out about yourself. 12-0 was the goal. 12-0 was the answer.
Just reading a couple of these posts in the WoodwardSports.com chat. It's kind of sad to see what has happened to college football, but it is the truth. Juice's Ghost. The Rose Bowl game doesn't carry the same weight anymore because you are not Big Ten champs. Otis says the Rose Bowl is worthless. I mean, and that's kind of how we feel now as college football fans.
It is.
If you are, where's the college? If you are,
Ohio State Utah last year was a phenomenal game.
But nobody even played in that game because it was worthless.
Right, no one gave a damn.
If you are right now Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Michigan, Clemson, Alabama, Ole Miss, TCU, UCLA, UCLA, Oregon. If you're one of those top 10 teams, the only thing that you want to do, right, even these New Year 6 games, what does that even mean,
it's
New
nothing.
Year 6?
It's just more money.
Nothing. It's a marketing tool. The college football playoff is everything. Your goal is to be in that. Anything less than that, if you are one of these 10 teams, well, maybe not TCU, maybe not UCLA, but I think if you're Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, Alabama, yeah.
New Year's 6 bowls aren't worthless when you consider getting the recruits in. When you consider going into someone's living room and say, hey, why don't you come to my school? Oh, well, what does your school do? Well, last year we played a New Year's 6 bowl. Like, that's a recruiting chip. You were at least in that game. That means you guys weren't necessarily top tier that team, but you were right under there at the second tier. So it's not completely worthless. But to hear somebody say the Rose Bowl is worthless and them to actually kind of be on to something. It's painful knowing that I grew up with the Rose Bowl being everything, but I mean that's how they play it now. Now it's going to be even more worthless once you get to a point where you're adding 12 teams into the college football playoff.
You also grew up not getting paid for your business, and now the kids are getting paid. It's completely different now. They got to redo it, and they will.
And I do wish, like I believe the national championship game is in Glendale, Arizona this year.
I think it's in SoFi.
Is it at SoFi?
Yeah, the finale is at SoFi.
Okay, fine.
One of the semis is in Glendale.
I even hate that they have not encompassed the bowl series in this playoff. It used to be like 1 year the Rose Bowl would be the national championship game, the Orange Bowl would be the national championship game, or the Fiesta or the Sugar. Now it's just like these games are, let's go play the national championship game in Indianapolis. What are you doing?
Well, the bowl games are the semis now. Like the Orange Bowl was a semi last year. The Cotton Bowl was a semifinal last year. Then the national championship stands on its own. It's like the Super Bowl. It stands on its own.
Yeah, on a Monday night of all places. But hey,
they're making it at 7 o'clock this time.
That's right.
All right, so it's a lot nicer.
Hey guys, top of the hour, we're going to be talking to Mark Champion. Pistons embark on the 2022-2023 season. A lot of excitement. Not sure they're ready to contend for a playoff spot yet, Bray. But at the same time, we are hoping to see a lot of growth and a lot more wins than we did a year ago as well.
Definitely want to see a couple more wins this season. You know, I think, and I keep prefacing this, it was very important that Dwayne Casey chose to take some of those young guys this past Eastern Conference Finals. So that the players can see that atmosphere in Boston, so they can be around and see this is what we play for, this is what we want to get to. And also, it's just good to have some young guys that people want to watch. You know, everybody was excited about Jaden Ivey, and you talk about this all the time. I don't know, I'm not so sure if Detroit Pistons don't draft Jaden Ivey if they have the 2nd pick overall, the 3rd pick overall. So to get him at 5 is a great job. And now you put Jaden Ivey next to Cade Cunningham. That should be something special to watch. It's just going to be interesting to talk to Mark and ask him, is Dwayne Casey, how long is Dwayne Casey going to be equipped to kind of get this thing rolling in the right direction before you get yourself a young Ime Udoka or one of these young coaches or Nick Nurse, guys like that are having the success?
Guys, we'll do it next. We'll talk to Mark Champion, radio play-by-play voice of the Detroit Pistons. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Yes, sir. 27 locations, more on the way, too, right here on Woodward Avenue. And if you join the Peppers Club, you will save, they're going to save you $5 against anybody, any competitor out there on unlimited tanning and more. Don't forget all those great products for skincare that they have there. Homecoming is here for all your high school kids. You know, they want to look good and get tanned. Chili Peppers Tanning is the place for you. The cleanest salons in the D, the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters, chilipepperstanning.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate property, my man Mike Phillips is the guy for you. Michael Phillips has been doing this for 23 years, and simply put, he is the best. But not only that, how about this? Thursday, October 27th, join Ermanni, myself, and Maz in Dearborn at Mike Phillips, Keller Williams location. We will be there doing some prime two, some partying, hanging out a little trunk and treat with Keller Williams 6 lot in the parking lot. Once again, that's Michael Phillips. Join us October 27th, which is next Thursday. Michael Phillips, Keller Williams in Dearborn.
All right, top of hour number 2. Thanks for joining us. WoodwardSports.com, Woodward Sports Network. Ermanni and Edwards, Tom Mazawey along with us, Fletch and JB in the house as well. Let's talk about this Pistons season. Gets going tomorrow night Pistons host Orlando. Mark Champion, longtime radio voice of the Detroit Pistons, on Twitter at NBA. Mark joins us now. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
I'll tell you, Ryan, couldn't be any better. How are things on Woodward?
Everything is great.
Yeah,
Everything is great. We're really excited, too, for this Pistons season, Mark. Another year to see some of these young guys, some additions as well. This thing feels like it's now not only trending in the right direction, but you got your guys that are hopefully just on the way up that's going to take this thing to the next level.
Yeah, I think so. I think, they kind of bottomed out, and now things are, like you said, I mean, they're turning around. Still a very young team. However, Troy Weaver did a pretty good job of adding some veteran players. Bojan Bogdanovic came in, Alec Burks, Kevin Knox, Nerlens Noel. Of course, we already had Corey Joseph. So he kind of smoothed it out. He thought they were maybe just a little bit too young last year, and so he's added a guy like Bogdanovic. The Pistons needed some more scoring, so Bogdanovic and Burks certainly can give them that. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what this roster is going to do. Still very young, still a lot to learn, so we'll see.
Extremely happy to have Jaden Ivey join Cade Cunningham. I think that could be a great young backcourt in this NBA. But just talk about Cade Cunningham. Like, what is your expectation on the jump that he'll take this year? Because he finished the season strong. Talk about his growth this year in year 2 for him.
Well, it was interesting watching him in preseason. He struggled a little. Maybe struggle is too strong, but he was trying to figure out what it's going to look like with Jaden Ivey alongside him. Am I still the primary ball handler? Is Jaden Ivey now distributing? And so it took a while for those guys to figure it all out, and I think they're still in that process. I'm excited to see what Cade eventually does, but I think he's going to improve his three-point shooting. I think he's going to finish at the rim a little bit more. So he's going to be fine. The kid that I really makes us to see develop is Jalen Duren from Memphis, and already an NBA body at the age of 18. He doesn't even turn 19 until next month. And the thing about him is that his coach at Memphis was, of course, Kenny Hardaway, but he also had Larry Brown and Rasheed Wallace as assistant coaches. So I had asked Troy Weaver back after, and Troy said, absolutely. You get coached like that for a year. That's something special.
Talking to Mark Champion, radio play-by-play voice of the Detroit Pistons. You mentioned Jalen Duren. Of course, maybe his stock rises a little bit earlier on in the season with Marvin Bagley out. But talk to me about Dwayne Casey here for a minute. How important has his voice been for these younger guys? He's one of the oldest coaches in the league, I think only behind Pop. How steady has his voice been for these younger guys?
Hey, watch who you're calling old. I
Well, you look great.
You look darn good, Mark.
Well, I don't, but thank you. The thing about it is that Casey has always been able to work and develop players. I mean, the great example is Siakam in Toronto. He loves working with young players who are somewhere along the way in their developmental stage. And so he is well liked by the players. He's not soft on the players by any means. So he's, a player's coach, but not afraid to get after him. And so they love him. He's a tremendous person. I just like respect cases. I think he's going to get the job done. Certainly Troy Weaver likes him, Tom Mazawey as well.
MC, it's Maz. Thanks for coming on with us. Looking forward to hearing you and the great Rick Mahorn do battle once again. I wanted to ask you about the NBA in general. A couple games going on tonight, but I wanted to ask you about the offseason, the Draymond Green incident with his own teammate, which was an ugly incident, and Ime Udoka with the Boston Celtics, what they're going through what's your take on the NBA, on those two stories, as a matter of fact?
Well, these stories, because of today's media coverage, the NBA is a worldwide product. Social media, of course, is out of control. So you're going to get coverage on stories whether they deserve it or not. Those two, I think one of those two definitely deserves it. Obviously, Ime Udoka. I'm going to stay away from that and let the league handle that. But the thing about Draymond Green is the biggest issue of that was the fact that it's leaked. And to me, that's the bigger issue. It was the players fight all the time. Players get beat all the time. I remember back in the Bad Boys days. I mean, it happens. It's no big deal. But the fact that it was leaked, that is a big deal. Those type of things stay in us. So that's the unfortunate thing about that. Draymond, Draymond's Draymond. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what Golden State does, because they are in tax hell, if you will. So whether they can afford to keep Draymond Green, I don't know. But the thing I love about it is the NBA is such a worldwide entity. I just love the soap opera-esque issues that arise in the NBA. So if nothing else, it keeps the league on the front page. You would prefer more positive stories, but it is what it is. Maz, I'm actually surprised you were there. I thought you would take the day off.
Well, they play at 4 o'clock, MC. We got time.
I see.
And I got to be honest, I'm really not too fond of this particular Yankee team. I think Cleveland beats them today, to be honest with you. MLB is having a nightmare. They are having a nightmare. There are no marquee teams left in this playoff hunt. I mean, it's really not a marquee team.
No
one gives a damn.
No.
They're not going to get any ratings this year, but I don't care about that. Whatever. Who do you like in the NBA to win it all?
Hopefully next year my Cubs will be in there and we'll have something to talk about.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that, MC. Who do you like in the finals? It's day one of the NBA, so I'll ask you, who are your finals for Mark Champion?
Couldn't tell you.
Come on.
Couldn't tell you. I think the East should be better. There are a lot of really good teams in the Eastern Conference. The West is always loaded. But, as far as who's going to win it, who knows? I mean, injuries play a major factor. Teams get on a roll. There's no way. I'm looking forward to the season because I just think there are so many good teams now in the league that it's going to be a pretty good battle.
Mark, here's a question for you. Not necessarily who's going to win, but what storyline are you looking to see most in the team? Obviously, you see James Harden lost weight, so how will that affect the 76ers and Embiid? And obviously, you see now Ben Simmons seems like he's back and now he's ready. Kyrie and Kevin, you didn't know what was going to happen there. LeBron James, they had Patrick Beverly in the offseason. Patrick Beverly, Russ Westbrook now coming off the bench. And Kawhi Leonard, oh my God, he's finally healthy after 3 years. So what storyline are you eager to see that's not the Detroit Pistons? Oh, you did?
But I think I got the gist.
There he is. Yep.
I got the gist of your question there. I mean, there are a million storylines going back to what I said about the soap opera-esque aspect of the NBA, and that's what makes it such an exciting league. There's so much going on. I am anxious to see what Ben Simmons does this year. I think that's a major thing. I want to see, if the Lakers, frankly, I don't care anything about the Lakers.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see. I'm anxious to see what they do. It gets so much publicity. Everybody's paying attention to everything we do. So we'll be interested to see what the Lakers do. But I'm just interested in following this Eastern Conference. There are so many good teams. Milwaukee is still up there. Philadelphia is still up there. Boston is still going to be good. Toronto's going to be good. Cleveland, speaking of off-season, Cleveland, of course, getting Donovan Mitchell suddenly makes them a much better team. So I'm kind of anxious to see how they do. And I'm anxious to see young teams trying to make improvements like our team, the Pistons, and see if we can make some inroads. I think both Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey want to see this team compete. They didn't feel that they were in that position the last couple of years, but now we're in a position where we should be able to compete.
Hey, Mark, final thing for you. What's a successful season for the Detroit Pistons this year?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think you can put a number on it. I don't think if they win 35 games and get in the play-in tournament, you go well in the second season. I think it's just another step in getting to where you want to get to. Ultimately, you want to win a championship, but as you know, that's a tough road. But the Pistons have done it, and they're taking steps to do it again. I think anything above what they did last year is improvement. If they win one more game, maybe that's not what you're looking for. But I do think that if they can get conversation to play in position in the Eastern Conference, to me that's a pretty good increase. Because you're looking at maybe 10 or 12 more victories from last year.
Hell, that'd be nice, and I think we would all take that absolutely as this team continues to grow. Mark Champion will be listening tomorrow night, Pistons Radio Network, absolutely, and we look forward to talking to you again down the road.
All right, fellas,
yes,
and Braylon, how about those Wolverines?
Hey, 7-0, Mark, man. They look like a team they look like they can do it in Columbus and maybe even further.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive, and the young kid Corum's got to be in the Heisman discussion.
You're damn right he does.
How about those Lions, MC?
Well,
cover your eyes.
There's always next year.
And we'll be talking about those Lions next. Mark, thanks so much. Absolutely.
Right.
Give Mark a follow.
Good night, Mark.
On Twitter as well. At NBA Mark, good follow as well. I do want to get to the Lions. We'll do it next. First, a message from Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Cintrons can buy all three of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack. Go to CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Check this out, man. They have partnered up with WoodwardSports.com as well as the Lions, as well as the Tigers and the Wings and Pistons so that they can re-energize the community. So why not help them? Why not get on board just like we are? Cintron, drink it and live it.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, everybody. How about winning some front row tickets to see Green Bay and Detroit live in the front row at Ford Field? To enter, record a video doing your best Dan Campbell impression. We've already gotten quite a few in, and I'm telling you, there are some beauties in there, all right? I got somebody that actually did the whole Dan Campbell preseason routine, the up-downs, the hey, man, in and out of places. You can do whatever you want. It's unbelievable. It's so much fun. All you got to do is post on Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag Woodward Front Row. Make sure you're following Woodward Sports. That's first of all. We'll select the winner. We're going to get 3 winners, 2 tickets apiece to sit in the front row, Green Bay and Detroit. We're going to announce it on 11/4. That's November the 4th. So enter today and do your best, Dan Campbell, man.
Levi, about a week ago, had surgery on his back, so he's out for the season. So that's a little bit of a gut punch, but, you know.
That was Dan Campbell talking about Levi Onwuzurike. We talked about him yesterday. Actually, he is out for the year, probably not going to play again. I mean,
this is a last resort surgery that he had.
Yeah.
He's giving it one more shot here.
Yeah, I mean, but kind of whatever you get from him would be, I guess, a bonus. You can't expect anything from him.
Well, what do you want out of a second-round pick?
Well, right, in the future. So just another second-round pick. Doesn't look like Josh Pascal is ready yet. To suit up this week in Dallas, maybe not.
Jerry Jacobs is a possibility.
Yeah.
Are we ready to admit that the Detroit Lions are going to win maybe 2 more games this year?
I don't know. I don't know where their 2 is. Because I thought Jacksonville was a win. I thought the Jets were a win. I thought the Giants were a win. I don't see a layup on their schedule anymore.
They're not beating the Cowboys, not beating Dallas. They're not beating Chicago in Chicago because the Lions haven't proven that they can win on the road. They don't win on the road. Dan Campbell was 0 on the road. They're not beating the Giants. They're not beating the Bills. They're not beating the Jags. They're not beating the Vikings. They're not beating the Jets. You got the Panthers and you got the Bears at home.
Maybe.
Those are your only. I'm saying those are your closest bets. And then, because even the Pack game, like it used to be, Packers, they're going to bench their squad. Well, guess what? They suck. They're not benching anybody the last game of the year. Yeah, you want a stat? How about a stat? 22 games in, Dan Campbell is 4-17-1. 22 games in, Matt Patricia was 8-13-1. You fired him after that second season that he had. You fired him. Darrell Bevell took over. When is it going to be talking about time to talk about Dan Campbell not necessarily being the answer? At what game is it? Do we say, you know what? Well, we would have fired Patricia. Now, why not fire him?
Difference, though, with Patricia is he pissed everybody off. I mean, he called Slay. I mean, the reason Darius Slay isn't with your team right now is because Matt Patricia challenged his manhood. Then he shipped out, not Glover Quinn, but who's the guy in
Quandre Diggs.
Quandre Diggs.
Q.
He challenged all these guys, manhoods, man. I mean, he lost the room. But the record aside, he lost the room. Once you lose the room, it's over.
The difference is it doesn't matter about the room if you win it. You know how many coaches aren't like in sports, but when you win, it does not matter. You can deal with it. Matt Patricia was a prick, but he also was a losing coach. Dan Campbell, everybody loves him, but so what? He doesn't win. When is it time to talk about Dan Campbell?
It's not time yet.
And that's all I said is when. That's all I asked. I asked when.
1-7. 1-7, I said.
No, next year if they can't get out of their own way, you fire them.
Look, we were at the Academy of Warren before the season started, and I said if the Lions start the year 1-7, you can go back to that show when we did it at the Academy of Warren.
I remember me and Braylon looked at you like you were nuts.
If the Lions start 1-7, I think you need to consider starting to have that conversation because that means there is no growth. You're 1-7 instead of 0-8. If the Lions lose this week, okay?
You mean when?
No, okay, fine. Just if. Humor me for a minute.
I am when they lose.
Okay, if the Lions lose this week.
What's the difference between when and if?
I'm not hanging the L on them just yet.
Okay.
If they lose this week, anything that happens this year after that is null and void. It's all meaningless football at this point. All of it. And it's no different from last year at the end of the year.
Right.
When the season is over, when you are not playing meaningful football games anymore, when you are not going to practice with a purpose, when you are not you know what this reminds me of? If they lose and start the year 1-5 and are just totally out of it, you know what it reminds me of? My senior year at Grosse Pointe South, where you're just trying to win a game. You're just going to play the game because it's on the schedule. You're not playing for anything. You're not playing or fighting for a playoff berth. You don't have those butterflies. Oh my God, you're not scoreboard watching. If we do this, we need them to do that. The season's over.
I disagree with you about 1-5. Although I know they're gonna lose, and then they're gonna lose another one, and then they're gonna lose 7, and then they're gonna lose the 8th, which is the Buffalo Bills on Thanksgiving. I still would say it's not meaningless until you get to 1-7, like you originally said, or 1-8. The reason why is because you still got games you can win. You still play against the Jags, who have a first-year head coach, although he's a Super Bowl winning coach. You still got the Vikings, who are a rival in the division, which you usually split games with them as well. And you still got to play against the New York Jets, who are a team that have a second-year coach that was supposed to mirror what you did. I think people are going to be really paying attention to that New York Giants game for the Detroit Lions and that New York Jets game for the Detroit Lions, because they're comparing what those two young coaches are doing in their first and second year, much like they are Dan Campbell.
What did they come out and do against the Rams last year? They came out and they put everything out on the line that game. That's really when the running gun Lions were almost born. Like, go for a 4th down, fake a punt, fake a field goal. They did everything. They'll do everything to possibly win this game against Dallas. They might not do it. More than likely they won't. But they will play balls out. And if you see them play like they played against the Patriots, then your season's over. But I don't think you're going to see that. And that's what I'm hanging my hat on. Look, I have a few days to be positive still.
I don't think it's an automatic loss at Dallas. I really don't. And I don't think, Dak coming back, he hadn't played in a while. I just don't think it's an automatic loss at Dallas. I think you have 2 weeks to prepare, and we'll see what they can do. If they lose, though, again, I go back to this. You can't do anything this season that would lead me to believe you coach different when it doesn't matter.
But if you're 1-5, Ryan, then you win 3 in a row.
You're not winning 3 in a row.
How do you know?
Well, I don't know, I guess.
So then you're 4-5. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, we're only a game and a half out of the last spot.
But I think you're there now. I think you're doing that now. You are 1 game out of a wild card. You are 1 game in the loss column out of a wild card. So you might think they're going to lose the rest of the games, but right now, where they are 1 game out of the loss column in the wild card.
It's so funny.
So they are playing for something.
Yeah, I agree.
You might think they suck.
Don't forget, they're getting a little healthier this week.
But the schedule and the standings suggest they are 1 game out.
I love being with Lions fans. You guys torture yourself. You guys stay optimistic for no reason. You guys continuously argue with me all season. Do it? And we're sitting at 1-4.
Who cares?
And we're going to play against the Dallas Cowboys this week. They're mad as hell that they lost to Philly team.
We're mad too.
Oh, by the way, you guys talked about how close you guys were to beating Philly when it was 38-35. Well, guess what? Cowboys were only down 3 points with Cooper Rush not playing extremely well in that game. Still got Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence. Now you get Dak Prescott back. Understanding how they were winning in the first place. Different Dallas Cowboys team that you're playing. Your best bet was to play against Cooper Rush or to play against a Dak Prescott that had played all year. Not one that's coming back after losing the game to Philly. Trust me, Dallas is going to destroy.
We get St. Brown back at 100%. I'm not sure about the Andre Swift yet, but if you get those 2 guys back, your offense is almost at 100% strength. That's the offense that was averaging 30-plus points a game.
And this is the defense that was the number 2 defense in the league.
Dallas isn't a killer. They're not a killer offense.
It's not about the killer offense. It's on the other side of the ball. Your favorite guy. Don't sit here and cry about your guy for 2 years. Now they're playing against him, and I'm on his side, and now you're not. Micah Parsons is going to be a destruction. DeMarcus Lawrence as well. And then you say St. Brown is coming back. Well, guess what? Trayvon Diggs is waiting on him. You said that he can be an all-pro.
Trayvon Diggs is hit or miss.
You told me that Trayvon Diggs, you told me that Amon-Ra St. Brown can be a number 1 guy in this NFL. Well, guess what? Here's his chance to prove it.
Braylon, you just changed my mind. Lions are going to win this week.
There you go.
They're going to win this game this week.
I don't know how to change your mind because you were optimistic before just now, so you didn't think that they were going to lose.
Well, you sold me.
They laid an egg in New England. You throw that game out. They come out with all their everything out on the table.
They didn't lay an egg in New England. They got out-coached. Ben Johnson finally ran against
that's called laying an egg.
No, it's not. Laying an egg is if you – go ahead, Ryan.
The Cowboys. Here's where the Lions have a chance. Here's where they have a chance this week. And granted, with Cooper Rush, but they did have Dak for the first game as well. They've scored 3 points, 20 points, 23 points, 25 points, 22 points, and 17 points. This offense is not all that, and that is including they have 1 game in 6 where they have a 100-yard rusher.
That's what I tell you.
They have 0 games this year where they have a 100-yard receiver. this team offensively is less than.
Dak's played 2 games. Dak didn't play with Michael Gallup since he's been back, so Michael Gallup is now back. CeeDee Lamb has been waiting for Dak because apparently there was a man crush by Cooper Rush to Noah Brown, and he couldn't find CeeDee Brown. There's a whole tight end on this team that was one of the best younger tight ends last name, Dalton Schultz, who, oh my God, where's he gone? So I'm telling you, once Dak gets back, he's going to help get all those guys involved, much like he did last year, where they had the number 1 offense in the NFL.
Who did they play the week after? The Dolphins?
Who, the Lions?
Yeah.
The Lions, Dolphins. I was looking at Dallas, where, I consider this as one of those figure it out games for Dallas, and then they start hitting their cylinder against Chicago, Green Bay, and Minnesota.
Yeah.
But the Lions, they play at Dallas, and then they play home against Miami,
Okay.
and then home against the Packers.
Let's see. See how it goes.
This almost becomes a must-win game, too. Well, not almost. Your season's over if you lose. And you got 2 weeks to get off the bye.
But we never thought they, except you, we never thought they were a real playoff team this year. We thought we wanted to see them do better than 3-13-1 that they did.
No,
that's
not
all.
do better. I think you both said 6, right?
I said 5 originally.
I think I got 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember the over-under's like 6.5?
Even 5. Even at 5 right now, you're looking at 4 more wins. I look at the schedule, and it was easier to do at the beginning of the year.
The Bears stink.
Yeah, I know. So that's 1 win.
Yeah.
In Carolina, like Braylon said,
they
that's 2
stink
wins.
too, but you're on the road.
Where are you going to get the other 2? If you're just looking on paper.
No.
But, I say that on one side of my mouth, but on the other side of my mouth, I do think the Lions win this week.
This was the easiest schedule, remember? On paper.
4th easiest
But
schedule.
you never know how the other teams are going to play until the year starts. So now all of a sudden it's a little tougher.
No,
of a
you
schedule.
do know, because what question I asked you, when you guys kept throwing that stat out that this is the 4th easiest schedule for any team, I said, where are the Lions at in the schedule? The Lions are ranked 27th playing the 4th easiest schedule, but they're 27. They were chumps too. It's not like you're saying the 4th easiest schedule and you're running through the schedule and you're the Buffalo Bills or you're the Minnesota Vikings or you're one of those teams that are 5-1 or 4-2. You're the Detroit Lions that were 3-13-1 last year. You were 3-12 the year before that. And now you're 1-4 after the first 5 games.
You're going to hear from Dan Campbell what they have to do this week to beat the Cowboys. You'll hear from him next, but first a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security expert, have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, tells bad guys one thing: stay out. Right now is the perfect time to make sure you have that peace of mind and home security from Guardian Alarm, the most trusted name in home and business security. Call them today, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, for a limited time only, the all-new burgers and loaded fries are only at Big Boy. It's not the Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. And how about those new burgers? It's the chili cheeseburger and the bacon blue, and those fries, gotta dress them up. A little chili cheese fries, nacho fries, baked potato fries. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
We got to get back to those things we were doing in camp. But, man, we got to get back to some of this the competitiveness, the good on good, and just good on one-on-one work. You know, we have to. So, that was one area I looked at myself and said, you know what, we got to get back to those things. That's really who we've been and what we are.
That was Dan Campbell speaking to the media this week on what they need to do to get a little mojo back. More from Dan Campbell. He says he's not discouraged, but we'll get to that momentarily. Yeah, they need to get the mojo back.
Not discouraged. I'm not happy with where we're at. I mean, I don't think anybody is, but when you really look at it, it's you're 1 or 2 plays away here, and all of a sudden you're sitting here with 3 wins, you know. So, but the reality is we only have 1.
That's right. They only have 1. They only have 1 win, and they're probably 2 or 3 plays in each game away from doing that. And he's the reason for those 2 or 3 plays not
Minnesota
going the right
game.
way as well. Well, we talk about it, the momentum.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about we're 1 or 2 plays away, because this is the Detroit Lions, coached by Dan Campbell. You're not 1 or 2 plays away, because the guy in Dan Campbell is making in-game decisions that are affecting the season. Just like I talk about Michigan can win any type of game, the Lions can lose any type of game. You play a hard-fought game against the Philadelphia Eagles in the beginning of the season. You get an ugly win against the Washington Commanders in terms of how they played defensively in the second half, but you get a win. Congratulations. Then you come back, you lose Game 3. What was Game 3? Who was Game 3? It was the giveaway to Minnesota?
Seattle.
No, it was Minnesota. You give the Minnesota game away, which you were winning once again in the fourth quarter.
Minnesota.
Then you blow that due to some in-game decisions as well as some defensive miscues in Aaron Glenn. Then you look at the Geno Jackson game. Geno Jackson comes in here and destroys you guys. So you get beat up by a team that we didn't think that was that good. Now they may be a little bit better than we're seeing, because they've called on to get a couple wins.
They're in first place
since that. Yeah, but that division isn't a good one right now. But yes, they are in first place, so maybe they're a little bit better, but they're still not 48 points on the Detroit Lions, better than the Detroit Lions. Then you go to New England. Oh, this is going to be the game. You got Bailey Zappi, you got a quarterback. This is when you get back on track, and you get out-coached Ben Johnson against Bill Belichick, and you get blown up, you get beat down. You've lost every type of game possible. You got blown out, you've come close, and you've given it away twice, and you've almost tried to give it away. So nothing about the Detroit Lions do I believe in. So I'm tired of talking about Dan Campbell and him turning his hat back around and doing all this. You got to go out there and you got to help your team win. You have to help your team win.
So I did this last week with Michigan State and Wisconsin, and I think when we were doing our fill-in-the-blank segment, I said why I was choosing Michigan State over Wisconsin last week. I mean, Wisconsin is a better team than Michigan State. I really believe that. But I think Michigan State had to win the game, and I think they were going to win the game because I think they have a little pride. And I guess I'm going to say that with the Detroit Lions this week, too. I think, and again, what does it matter if I'm wrong? It doesn't really friggin' matter.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm still going to hopefully wake up on the right side of the bed with a smile on my face. It doesn't matter if I'm wrong or not. I don't give a shit. Oh, sorry, I said that. But, like, I think they're going to win because I do believe they have some pride. And they had a couple of weeks to reevaluate what they're doing. They got a couple of weeks to get some guys healthy. And they have to save their season. And this is a season-defining game on the road at Dallas. If you lose, you're done. You're out. Don't even care about talking about you anymore. I mean, we'll be forced to talk about the Lions because that's what we do here on a sports talk show is we talk about the Lions. We'll be forced to, but I will do so without any sort of emotional attachment whatsoever. It'll just be like something we do.
You're allowed to make your own opinion and pick who you want to. I love that. The fact that you gave me that analogy on Michigan State beating Wisconsin is nowhere clear in the same direction as the Lions playing against the Cowboys, because Wisconsin sucks. Their quarterback Greg Mertz sucks. Their running backs aren't like they used to be with Jonathan Taylor and the running backs of the past. Their offensive line, which has been traditionally good under Paul Chryst, which is why he was fired. Their defense, which usually has good defensive play, they are awful this year. Michigan State and Wisconsin were two evenly matched awful teams. And I only picked Wisconsin because I picked Michigan State because of the pride thing, but also because they were at home. If Wisconsin was playing Michigan State in Madison, I would have chosen Wisconsin. It's not the same because the Cowboys don't suck. The Cowboys are 4-2. With a backup quarterback, they were 4-0 until they did lose one. They got arguably the best defensive player on the team. They got one of the best defensive backs on the team. They got one of their wide receivers back who they just paid. They got another wide receiver who's waiting for Dak Prescott to come back so he can get a much different comparison. But the Lions, even if they show have pride, Dan Campbell still got to come through for them at the end of that game.
I think one of the things, though, in the NFL, too, and look, the best team doesn't always win the game in the NFL. Just go back to last week. I think the 49ers are better than the Falcons. Atlanta beat them. I think the Packers are probably better than the Jets. The Jets beat them. I think the Dolphins
every week
are probably better than the Vikings. The Vikings beat them. I think the Ravens are a better team than the Giants. The Giants beat them. I think the Bucs are better than the Steelers. The Steelers beat them. I mean, I think the Chiefs potentially at home anyway, probably better team than the Bills. Maybe, I guess you can flip a coin on that, but the Bills beat them. I mean, you can say that every week. The best team in the NFL doesn't always win.
The best coach team on that day does, and that's the problem with the Detroit Lions. All the examples you gave, the best coach in that particular game was on the opposite sideline.
Wow, the best coach in that particular game. Oh, I see what you're saying.
The best coach in that game. Yeah. Like what the Giants did in getting that win against Baltimore. Wink Martindale, we talked about it before the game. Wink Martindale knew Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has been struggling in the fourth quarter. They played to that. The Giants have the best fourth quarter team in the NFL. That matched off that way. You look at the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, on the outside it says the Falcons beat the 49ers. It looks that way. But then you look at the 49ers in detail. They struggled early on in the season. They've been average with Jimmy Garoppolo. And the Falcons have been playing good defense under their new head coach. All right, they've been in some tight games and they've almost won all their games. It's all about matchups and it's about coaching. And right now, the best coach in that game, it sucks to say, will be Bill McCartney.
You got anything to add on that?
Mike McCarthy.
I just think that I'm with you.
Mike McCarthy.
They're coming back after a bye week, and I just think that they will be ready to play one of their best games of the year. Whether it's good enough to beat Dallas,
I just want to know, like, you guys have been wrong about the Lions 4 weeks in a row, and I've been right. When did you just maybe one of you jump on my side just once? Just once to see what it feels like to be right.
It's no fun.
No, because you actually guys believe it, though. The difference is you believe it. If you were just saying
again,
what's wrong with believing?
We're sports fans.
Yeah, what's wrong?
I understand that.
But that's the clear difference between, I think, us and you as a former player. You come at this thing as a player. We come at this thing as a fan. You know what I mean?
That's exactly it.
There's
then give me two. In that case, give me two different answers. Then give me the fan answer, and then give me the logical answer.
I think we kind of already covered that. I think they'll play their best game, and they'll probably lose.
I think you've been right about the Lions every step of the way. You've been right about the Lions every step of the way.
I'm just laughing.
But I think
it's more so fun for me.
Yeah. The problem is
that's good.
Is as a sports fan.
Yeah.
Like that we live and die with our teams. Like that's why we're in this business. Like if we didn't give a shit about these teams, we probably would be counting money next door at Morgan Stanley. At least that's what I'd be doing.
We could use the fourth floor bathroom.
Or I'd go on the fourth floor and go do that stuff. Like these teams matter to us.
Okay,
so
well, Michigan matters to me. And last year I said they were going to lose Ohio State, and I was wrong.
Right.
Sometimes you based off what I saw, I would pick Ohio State and lost. I was wrong.
But we're wrong a lot. if
your picks aren't necessarily your picks are good. No, you're only wrong about the Lions.
But again, I'm wrong a lot. But it's just fun. Like this is like sitting at a bar to me. Yeah. Like you argue with your buddies about stuff. Like ultimately you want to be right, but you don't really care if you're right or not because it doesn't matter. My life ain't affected. I mean,
it does affect us when they lose, when we think when we want them to win.
Of course,
it does affect us.
But what I'm saying is, we're sitting here arguing with each other. Whether what I say here is either right or it's wrong, my wife's still going to be up my ass when I get home.
Me too.
And I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to have to go to friggin' work.
Yeah.
And this is like therapy for me. to be here shooting the breeze with you guys talking sports.
Sitting at the
It's
bar.
ain't that serious.
No, I'm not serious
what I mean?
as well, but I'm saying
I mean,
as much as the Lions, they send you to therapy.
Right. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, I can I be honest
Like
with you?
arguing about sports. It's fun.
Sometimes when the Lions win and I come in on a Monday, I'm not as excited to talk about it. I'm just not. Because it's like watching a car crash.
You're so used to being
miserable.
miserable.
I'm so used to getting my teeth kicked in that I just want to come in on a Monday and say, well, they could have done this, they could have done this. Why the hell did they do this? I want my Sunday to be ruined.
And honestly, we know how this is going to end up.
Yeah.
But we don't want to believe it. We love football season too much. I don't want football season. I don't want football season to be over in week 6.
But you guys should be like, you know what you should do? Maybe just switch the gears for a second and be like my guy in Major League. Maybe you just start saying, you know what, the hell with the Lions, they're gonna lose, and maybe it might be reverse psychology. Maybe they start winning.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to manifest putting it out in the atmosphere.
You just gotta turn your back on it.
The Lions win.
I was an 0-16 season ticket holder, okay? I went to the last game against the Saints. I was there rooting hard for them to win. Actually, I was kind of rooting for them to lose and just getting the record books.
You were there cheering?
Yeah,
Oh,
and then I was pissed.
That answers some things.
I was pissed that the Browns tied the 0-16. I wanted it off of myself because I guess that's just what I am. All right, I'm a battered guy.
Yeah.
I'm a battered fan. I guess this is what I just expect.
Yeah.
Too bad you're not a Philly fan, because Philly's got 2 undefeated teams, and they got the Flyers are undefeated, the Eagles are undefeated.
Listen, before this year,
the Sixers have a chance. The Phillies are in the world. I mean, the NLCS.
Look at the football teams I rooted for coming into this year. I'm a Jets, Giants, and Lions fan.
How do you think I felt when
the
Lions
Can you get a bigger loser than that?
When Rich Rod was at Michigan, how do you think I feel? Now I know what Michigan State fans are going through. Can you imagine being a Michigan State fan?
No
That
thanks.
sucks. We'll go around the NFL as best we can, but first a message from Custom Health Centers. Has summer left you feeling a little bit chubby? Yeah, me too. Custom Health Centers takes the willpower out of weight loss. Whether you need to lose 20 pounds or 120 pounds, Custom Health Centers will help you do it quickly and safely. Go to CustomHealthCenters.com. Give them a call today, 844-789-THIN. That number again, 844-789-THIN.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
You know, as an offense, we felt like that wasn't us. But, you know, you look at the first 4 weeks, we know what we're capable of. So a game like that doesn't really, doesn't affect us too much because of what we know we can do and what we have done the first 4 weeks. So, he tweaked a couple things for practice, which, I'm all for. I love one-on-ones, and that's going to be in practice Wednesdays and Thursdays now for us. So I'm excited. Get to work on your craft, get better, compete, and that's what I'm about.
And that is Amon-Ra St. Brown talking about it's better if he does compete. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. We're just talking about the Detroit Lions and what they have coming up this week against Dallas. A tall order. Dallas coming off a loss to Philly. The Lions coming off a bye week. Maz.
See him rocking his USC sweatshirt?
I did see that.
Pretty cool.
That was dope, especially after a loss.
I know.
Considering they
Tough
lost.
loss.
A tough loss to Utah. Field goal at the end. They went for 2. They said the hell with it.
That's gutty. Hey, man, do you know about Deshaun Jackson? I know. Let's hit that music. 36-year-old Deshaun Jackson visiting the Baltimore Ravens. Can Deshaun Jackson still do it, and can he help Baltimore?
Yes, he can. I think he can help Baltimore. One, obviously being a veteran with those young guys at the wide receiver position. But also, man, he's one of the fastest players in NFL history. He is number 1 all time in terms of touchdowns over 50 yards.
He was a Giants killer, I know that.
He was a Giants killer. He was an Eagles killer. He ended up killing everybody. Too bad it didn't work out with the Rams. Last year, for some reason, I saw that working a little different, especially after the Vegas deal, but I think he still has that experience, that veteran cachet to help out the young guys, and he's still fast. I mean, his 4.2, what it used to be then, is still probably 4.50 now, 4.4 and some change.
Why can't Des Bryant? What about Des Bryant? He's done.
He marked the X.
Well, Des Bryant was, you guys got to look at it from this standpoint. Des Bryant was not necessarily that fast before he got injured. When he came into the NFL, he's a 4-5 guy, played big body receiver type of guy, and it was a possession receiver that ran pretty good routes. He gets hurt a couple different times. He tears his Achilles. He's now older. Des is a little older, so like that, the injuries and age, they don't translate into great routes anymore.
Hey, DeAndre Hopkins is back. All you fantasy guys that kept him on your bench, you have a chance now. I'm not sure if it's going to help you because the Cardinals offense, Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury's ready to give up play calling. It's a mess in Arizona. Can D-Hop help?
D-Hop's one of the best wide receivers of the past 7 years. Hasn't necessarily been exactly where he was when he first got to the Arizona Cardinals, but that's also because of the offense and Kyler Murray running around. You know, it's going to be interesting to see his level of trust in DeAndre Hopkins early on in that game. But also, Robbie Anderson now will be on that team as well, as Marquise Brown is only going to be out 6 weeks. But it's going to be interesting how he basically has to insert 2 new wide receivers into the offense this weekend. It's going to be ugly whoever they play.
No doubt.
I don't know what Cam Akers did to piss off Sean McVay, but they just bench him. And they're going to continue to bench him until they find a trading partner for Cam Akers, the running back, who came back and helped them, man. And all of a sudden, he's done.
I don't get this one either.
Well, it's interesting. You know, he fought all the way, come back with his Achilles injury. He fought to get back. He got back in time for the playoffs last year, and it looked like he was going to be a guy that was going to help them turn the tide at the running back position. But insert this year, they're not giving him the ball. The couple times they did give him the ball, he just hasn't had success. He hasn't found it again, whatever it is, and definitely it's got to be something there for them to want to move on from him.
What's a potential suitor for him? What contender?
I don't know.
They wouldn't trade him to a contender, would they?
I don't know. I mean, he's coming off an injury, but he showed that he could get back on the field. He must be doing some stuff that we don't know about.
Field, maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely a change-up back. Somebody's looking for a change-up back. Maybe someone like a Tennessee Titans where you have Derrick Henry as your starting back, and then you switch up with
Jacksonville's
with
got 2 backs.
They got 2 backs. And Robinson.
James Robinson.
James Robinson. So maybe somebody like the Tennessee Titans who maybe necessarily aren't out of it, but they got the big bruiser and Derrick Henry, and then you had a slasher and a guy Cam that can catch the ball out of the backfield.
They got Haskins.
That's right. Well, but see, he's like, but he's also just like a Derrick Henry. Yeah. Big back, big bruiser type. Cam Akers is kind of like a switch up for him.
Hey, we've been talking about Tom Brady, and is he really invested in this? I heard something today that, you know, he's trying to maybe undermine his head coach, Todd Bowles. Well, he comes out today and he says, hey, man, we're going to turn this thing around. Tom Brady, do you think he turns the Bucs around? Do you think he turns his season around?
I think so. Tom Brady is Tom Brady for a reason. I mean, for as much grief as I gave him yesterday, I mean, he's still a guy that has 7 rings. He just won a Super Bowl 2 years ago with this team. I think they got to get some more production out of the wide receiver position. I mean, you look at the game last week, for as bad as the game was, it's partly on the defense too, because that defense gave up 4. They were 4-on-4 on 3rd and longs to Mitchell Trubisky and freaking Kenny Pickett. So it's partially their fault as well. But when the game counted, when the game was in the clutch, Ryan and Mass, who got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all the way down the field, who scored the touchdown and had them in position to potentially tie that game to go to overtime. So I think they have a chance because it's Tom Brady and the defense has been playing decent.
I reluctantly say yes because the division is so horrific that at 3-3, Tampa is tied for first.
Right, with Atlanta.
Yeah, and they're playing their worst football that we've ever seen them play.
Under time.
So I think they can turn it around. I think they will win that division by default. And then you never bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Yep, we'll see how it goes.
To be as realistic about it as I can.
How about the Washington Commanders? You know, the NFL had a private investigator go after Dan Snyder. There's been all kinds of stuff going on, but more stuff is ready to hit the fan in Washington. Can Dan Snyder survive this?
I want to see stuff hit the fan. I really want this thing to blow right up.
But you remember, he's got all the goods, he says.
I want him to. I want all the goods.
I think it's time for it to blow up. I'm tired of it being held intact. And, well, if he leaks, then there'll be other owners that get punished as well. And you don't want to blow the whole NFL up. The NFL has needed a blow up for a very long time. And if this is what it takes, then all fine by me. We just got rid of an owner in Phoenix in the NBA for the same similar type of you-know-what. But here's Dan Snyder surviving. Blow it all to hell, because when you disrespect people, whether it's being sexist, whether it's being misogynist, whether it's being racist, you don't deserve to have your team. You don't deserve that power.
And last one for you today, Pro Football Talk. Of course, every Tuesday they come out with their power rankings. The Lions, they didn't play last week, but they dropped one spot to 31.
Houston 32? Who's worse?
Put that up there, Fletch.
Who's worse?
I think Houston is behind
Gotta
them.
be.
Maybe Carolina or Houston?
I mean, Houston's got to be the worst team in the league. And if they are not, if the Lions are...
no, Houston is going to be above you guys. I think it's Houston. It's the Panthers. I knew it. Because Houston has a win and a tie.
Yeah, and plus they've been playing tough.
Yeah, Davis Mills is, maybe wasn't that bad of a quarterback drafted last year class. The Carolina Panthers. And guess what? The only thing the Lions can pray for is that Christian McCaffrey gets up out of there like everybody's expecting him to by the trade deadline and goes to the Bills. Because if he stays, then they may not be the Carolina Panthers.
Remember putting this up a couple of weeks ago? We said the Lions' opponents were all on the right side of this graphic. Now they're all on the left side of the graphic.
It's moving day.
The Eagles, the Bills, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Vikings twice, the Jets. The Packers twice, the Patriots, unbelievable.
And then there are ones that and then their opponents that they have to play that are on the right side are better than them. You look at the Jaguars are better than them. You look at the Dolphins are better than them with Tua coming back. So they can't win for losing.
Oh
literally.
My God, that is so great. All right, guys, we're gonna take a break. Come right back.
Wait, this just in. They've just lost another spot. They're down to 32.
Get out of here. But first, a message from Swiss Insurance.
Swiss Insurance Group. Did you know that 1 in 6 kids will develop a medical condition that will make them uninsurable? It's a doggone shame. Swiss Insurance can save you money on your auto and home, resulting in no out-of-pocket costs to insure your children. Isn't that amazing? Well, that's what Mark and Swiss Insurance Group can do for you. It is all about the family. Make sure your family is protected with Swiss Insurance Group.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Welcome back, WoodwardSports.com. We certainly appreciate you making us part of your day, everybody in the WoodwardSports.com chat. NBA tonight, season gets started. 76ers at the Celtics and the Lakers at the Warriors.
Two great matchups.
Look, I'm curious to see what the Warriors are going to do this year. I'm curious to see what the Lakers are going to do this year.
They stink.
The Lakers, the brand that nobody wants to see, but they keep shoving it down our throat, and we keep watching it like slaves.
Well, if Anthony Davis is healthy and LeBron James is healthy, I think they're look, it's a star-driven league. And then, of course, the 76ers and the Celtics. What are the Celtics going to be without their coach? Can I have a hold on?
Oh, no.
Next year, Ime Udoka is going to be the Detroit Pistons head coach. Just wait for it. I don't think there's going to be a resolution.
Does he know Tom Gores?
No, I don't know. I don't know there's going to be a resolution in Boston. And Dwayne Casey is going to get these guys another year of development. I think Casey will go and work for this organization in some capacity at his choosing. Dwayne Casey's going to be able to write his own ticket within the Detroit Pistons franchise for everything he has done for it. I think he will step aside, and I think then you bring in the young head coach, Ime Udoka, here to the Detroit Pistons next year, and this thing takes off.
It's not bad. I mean, he definitely is a damn good coach. He did in 1 year what Brad Stevens couldn't do in 7. So the way he turned that team around, got them playing defense, got them to the finals. The only thing is the Celtics still control his contract. So if they want to punish him, if they want to be blah, 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 then they don't have to necessarily let him out of his contract because he is still under contract. I was hoping for Chauncey Billups, so I'm keeping that spot open in my mind for CB.
There you go. That's interesting, too.
Yeah.
Chauncey Billups, see what happens out in in Portland this year with a healthy Damian Lillard, fresh off a 2-year, $122 million deal.
And a Piston out there.
Money.
Magic got the Guardians and the Yankees Game 5 today. Game 1 of the NLCS happens tonight. Zach Wheeler and Yu Darvish. That's an 8 o'clock game. Padres and Phils. That is awesome. But Game 5, it all comes down to this. You say this is not a Yankee team.
It's not. It's not.
Why? I don't get it.
They're not a good team. They don't play together. They're just not a good team. They don't have the pitching. Their bullpen is hurt. I don't like what Aaron Boone, how he manages. I think Brian Cashman is cashed out. I think next year you see Derek Jeter in the GM seat, and you see Donnie Baseball in the dugout managing the Yankees. That's my prediction. I think Cleveland wins today, and then, of course, they'll play hard against Houston, but they can't beat them because they can't score, just like Seattle. But they'll play their asses off. But Padres and the Phillies, man, the Phillies, if they get one in San Diego, they're going to win that. They're going to win that because they're not going to lose at home. The Philly faithful won't let them lose. But I can't wait for that matchup. Yeah. And it's on Fox Sports 1, FS1. It's not on the real Fox. It's on FS1. If the Dodgers were playing, it would be on Fox.
I'm excited to see that as well. Yeah, you make a funny point. You're absolutely right. Obviously, Fox wants all the Dodger and L.A. money, but you make a good point, man. And just talking about the Phillies, I am a huge Bryce Harper fan, and on the other side, San Diego Padres, you know my guy is Manny Machado. So to get to see these guys go at it in the NLCS, man, it's going to be an amazing series.
And, of course, the Red Wings. The Red Wings have the night off. I mean, it was such a great game last night. We'll see what they do. They got a couple of nights off again. They don't play until Thursday when they travel. No, they don't. Jeez, when do the Red Wings play again?
I know they play next Tuesday against the Devils. I'm going to that game.
Red Wings don't play until Friday?
Well, yeah, that's all right.
Against the Blackhawks, jeez.
We'll get some practices in.
Get some practice in against
they will get Dylan Larkin on the show.
Chicago Blackhawks.
You guys want to talk to Dylan Larkin?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we can do.
All right, get Dylan Larkin on the show.
Hit his brother up the other day. You're excited to see what that save by Dylan Larkin yesterday, man. To see that effort, see that
back
extra
check
intensity,
like a monster.
Good old back checking.
Just to do that, man, that was amazing. You see that, like things like that. When you see it come together like that, that's when you know you're gonna win. You're on the way in the right direction. So proud of the Red Wings. We hope they keep it going at 2-1 so far this season.
And Pistons and Magic tomorrow. I'm gonna make it out to. I was gonna say the Palace. I'll make it out to LCA to see that. I love watching opening night in Detroit. I went on Friday to see the Wings. Mm-hmm. I will see the Pistons tomorrow. I don't like to miss those things. Obviously, opening day with the Tigers is amazing.
You know, I don't have much experience going to LCA. Is it easy to park and everything?
They set you up really well.
Really?
Yeah, they take
I've
good
only
care
been
of you.
there a handful of times.
Yeah, they take good care of you.
Really?
No question about it.
Is there a spread like there was at the Palace?
You got to pay for it, but yeah, there's a spread.
There was no better media spread
the Palace
covering a Pistons game at the Palace. If you got the assignment to cover a Pistons game at the Palace, you were like, okay.
You're not kidding, man.
That.
You're not kidding.
I'm gonna go do that.
They had the nice cloth napkins all rolled up. You had your set up, the real plates.
Beautiful buffet.
It was great. The Palace was great.
Their first run, their first floor, right by the locker room spread that they do for the Pistons games as well as the Red Wings game, it's top notch as well. Like it's really damn good. If you get a chance to get those VIP seats, shout out to my boy Dave Logan. But Food's amazing.
LCA it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Man. It's I mean, I walked around the entire thing a lot. I went into the store yesterday. I wanted to buy some Red Wing gear. I couldn't afford it.
A little pricey.
Not even on your salary.
A sweatshirt. I love this sweatshirt. $89.
That's crazy.
Then I go to
why not just $90?
Maybe that sweatshirt's a little less.
Why not just $90?
$89.
It's a price point.
How about that jersey?
When you see 8, it's lower than 9.
$210 for that black jersey that they don't wear.
Can we end this show? I am freezing.
I'm freezing. I am freezing.
I just noticed it. My toes are freaking.
Well, turn it off.
Poor Michelle Byers back here. She's not even moving.
I just realized how cold I was.
Well, turn it off.
No, it's fine. There's
don't talk
30
about
seconds left.
It doesn't even go together.
Oh, God. You're no fun today. You know that?
Oh, you
You're
know
no
what?
fun today.
It's like that some days.
You know,
I came in professional. I was business.
professional,
today,
business.
I was business.
That's it. All right, guys. Braylon, get us out of here.
JB, get us out of here, buddy.
Get us out of here, JB. Just say goodbye to the people.
You want me to take you out of here?
Say goodbye to the people.
Take us out of here, man.
All right, everyone in the chat, thank you for tapping in with us. We appreciate you so much. For Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, the man Matt sitting over here on the couch, Fletch over here in the TD booth, and myself. That's it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, baby.
Well done.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.